Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of our quest for Plunder. Now, as we go into a new week for the season, we also go to a new message from the star charts. Let's see what else going on.
Guardian, we have new readings. Aramis's fleet moves across the system, pursuing relics of power. Summon your crew. And a request, please. As a favor to me, do not involve Ido in your violence against the old crews. She is brave and curious, but does not yet understand the brutality of the world. There are pain truths in our history. I should have told her earlier, before all this. But I must learn before I can teach, and for that I need time. Disrupt Aramis's crews, and stop her from collecting the relics. Some mistakes must remain in the past.
Wait, I think... Yep. Misracks greets you with grave news. Aramis's fleet is converging on another relic. He also has a request. Do not involve Ido in your violence against the old crews, he asks. She is brave and curious, but does not yet understand the brutality of this world, he says with some difficulty. There are pain truths in our history. Misracks admits Ido should know about the past of her people, but he wants to be the one to teach her. He asks that you give him time to prepare to do so responsibly. For now, Aramis's crew must be disrupted and another relic snatched from her grasp. On the one hand, I totally get where he's coming from in the sense that his past is really starting to come up, and you also see a lot of his protective nature of Ido coming out in this. She's taken a lot of the forefront in this endeavor. And, you start to see the protective dad coming out in him. So now, let's see, what's our next quest? Loot expedition, buried treasure, and defeat combatants on Nessus. Now, important thing. I had been hunting for so long trying to get just the armband, and I have the armband. So now I can get a glimmer treasure map or basic treasure map. Map that points you to the location of hidden treasure at the end of an expedition. Point to the location of hidden treasure at the end of an expedition. It just gets you glimmer. Expedition gear. We're going to go with this one just because gear is much more of a broader term, so we can also get us weapons and such, which at the current moment is more so what I'm wanting. Alright, here we go.
One of the crews we battled hid their ill-gotten gains here on Earth. Once we dig it up, we should talk about our shares. You are alive, and we tolerate you in this sacred place. That is your share and no more.
Ha! I just love that the fact that we're dealing with Misracks and not Barracks anymore. We're dealing with someone who actually has a backbone and is willing to say no. Especially to Spider. Spider is so much more cowering in this now, which is great because now with Mara Sov back, and all of his power is taken from him. And so he's much more cowering at the current moment. He's much more domicile. Man, I'd like to know what happened, how that one guy was able to just pick one up and keep throwing it every time. Give. Oh, man. How did that not free? Okay, that froze that one back there.
Electronic interference slows our efforts. Eliminate our opponent's jammer.
Alright. I honestly really like the weapons that came from the Duality dungeon, and I really need to get back into farming that one. Especially this pulse rifle. This pulse rifle is so good. Gotta remember, I don't have auto-loading holster anymore. I went with the exotic instead of going with the one I built. Okay, at current moment, I think I'm going to switch to arc, or solar. And then whenever we get to the parts where we have to move it, then I'm going to switch to arc, because once we're moving it, most of our threat is fallen.
Our cargo hold's looking pretty bare, hero. Let's get that treasure haul rolling.
So now that we're moving it, we're going to switch to arc. See how that goes. Okay, there we go. No, don't switch it back to fire, dadjimmit. See, and that's why. Everything follows a pattern. If you just follow the pattern, then you're good. Certain champions coming out with certain groups. Certain enemies having specific shields. It all follows a pattern. So if you know what you're up against, you can kind of prep a little better. He's running, so we're not going to waste a nade on him. Dead Messenger is such a good exotic. Granted, to be fair, I have very quickly fallen in love with waveframe grenades. Exhibit A. Although I need to get in the habit of I need to get out of the habit of just immediately switching after I fire, because this thing doesn't have automatic holster reloading like my other one does. See, the thing is, it's weird because why? Go. What? Why? Go. Do I have to hit the top? I bet you I have to hit the top. And if that's the case, that's kind of stupid. Okay, now it looks like we're here at the spot of the final boss. So we should be good to go. Just chain the freezing. And then the good part is if I can get that freezing to end in a critical shot, I can get headstone to proc, and I can just let it all continue over again. Nice! Oh, that was good. Did no one... Was that the boss? That big guy up there? Because there was no health bar across the bottom. Wasn't there usually a health bar across the bottom? Is that it? I guess that was it.
So this is the famous Cosmodrome. I knew Guardians were walking corpses, but I didn't expect such a graveyard. Earth suffered the collapse, just as we suffered the whirlwind. Such scars never fade. And you trust the Traveler to stand by the humans after it abandoned us?
We trust the light, not the great machine. Whatever its will, our house will stand in solidarity with the humans.
It's interesting now, the distinction that they're making between the Traveler and the light. A lot of times looking at it, I thought that... Defeat combatants during expedition and defeat combatants on Nessus. Okay, so I'm not gonna subject y'all to me just going and killing things on Nessus. So I'll be back and I will see you all shortly. Alright, here we go. Pirate hideout, the Blade Masters.
Captain bringing down these pirate lords. Do you think the rest are terrified? Huh? Yeah, they'll face Tabal and Tha'ur with 4 cleavers between them. A strong arm and a sharp edge. They always think that's the only thing they need.
Alright, seems like we got a good bit of people here coming now. Just clear the room full of people. I still wonder what caused the Cabal. Like, I know Destiny typically has a pattern where most of their events are 2 groups going together, and then, of course, there's going to be some crossover. Like, this is not the first time the Cabal and the Fallen have met up, or teamed up, I should say. But it's just weird. Like, they just seem random. Alright. Rude. Oh man, if I can get that interceptor before he thaws, there we go. Then I can start this chain. There we go. Dang it. Alright. That clears that room. Looks like here's the boss.
We don't want to tire out your ghost.
Are those the pirate lords are Cabal? Here we go. How about y'all just chill for a minute? Just kind of mutually freeze the 2 of them consecutively, so all of those grenade hits are crits. Okay, is that solar? It should be solar. Yeah, it's solar. That Jim, it's fine. If you're gonna dodge that too. What? No, you don't want to? What a shame. Good thing about two bosses known as the Blade Masters, they're always close together. You can just freeze them up right there. There we go. Let's get the artifact.
Misracks hasn't told you any more about these relics, has he? I suppose it's neat to know. And Misracks knows.
Spider, why are you using a secure channel? Did my father tell you to do so?
Huh? Clever scribe. No more flattery? Well, Misracks asked me to keep you at arm's length. Perhaps he doesn't want you mixing in with our unsavory business.
Were those his exact words?
Only a guess. Who can say? And after all, who am I to question the Count?
Spider, I will find out what's going on here.
Ooh. She doesn't like being left out of the loop. So the only bad part is Misracks is doing this, asking that we give him time to teach her why, but in doing so, that's making her rush to find out why. So it's kind of putting us in a position where running from fate only seems to bring us closer to it. What's next on our agenda for today? Witness the conversation in the ether tank. Ooh. Something tells me this is not going to be a pleasant one.
Spider, there are questions my father refuses to answer. Have you seen him act this way before? You two were friends once.
Even if Misracks had friends back then, I wasn't among them. I couldn't possibly speak to his behavior.
You're being evasive.
Oh, evasive? I prefer to think of it as coy. Well then, your father was unpredictable. We could have had everything we wanted if he listened to me, but he always knew better. Look at him now. Cal of a house, holed up inside the city. Picking over ruins, pretending he's content in the shadow of the great machine.
We were offered scraps and we took them.
Oh? Is that ingratitude I hear?
I do not call the truth ingratitude, but enough of who my father is. Who was he?
I expected this from Spider, but not from you.
I am simply performing my duties as scribe of House Light. I will gather knowledge regardless of who would keep it from me.
Ruckus, I told you not to speak of this. Do I have to dock your tongue?
Father! I apologize for the Kel's behavior.
Apology accepted. I see now. You're afraid little Ido will take off those rose-colored glasses. Such a delightful human phrase. And what will she see when she looks at you then? Do not speak to my daughter again. Oh, don't worry about me. Though, I'm not the only one who remembers. Sooner or later, she'll learn the truth. But I'm sure it will all work out. After all, what is it you say? The light provides.
See, Spider's starting to be less coy. Starting to be more coy and starting to be more powerful now that he finally figures out what Misracks is afraid of. Once he sees the fear in a person, then he knows how to twist it. But when Misracks only presents power and authority, Spider kind of cowers back from it.
Hey there, Captain. Figured I'd better take over while Misracks is preoccupied. I heard he's dealing with some family issues. From what I could gather, he tried to shut Ido out from all this pirate business. Might have lost his temper. Definitely lost face. Poor Ido. What do they say? Never meet your heroes? Kinda tough when your hero's your dad. No surprise to me Misracks has got some secrets. Everybody's got something that keeps him up at night. I'm sure they'll work it out. Folks have a way of putting aside their differences when the world's at stake. Just look at me and Zavala. Or me and Ikora. Or me and... anybody, really.
You find Drifter handling communications while Misracks is busy speaking with Ido. I heard he's dealing with some family issues, Drifter shrugs. Drifter doesn't seem bothered by Misracks' earlier outburst towards Spider. No surprise to me, Misracks has some secrets, he says. As for the tension between Misracks and Ido, Drifter isn't concerned. I'm sure they'll work it out, he says. Folks have a way of putting aside their differences when the world's at stake. Alright. Looks like after this, visit the Spider in the ether tank in the Elixir quarters. Looks like we're not done yet. Let's see what Spider wants from us. It's probably the random roll. The random roll.
Shall we make a deal?
Spider gestures to the now familiar set of engrams. Back for more, I see. Excellent, he says. You can't quit on a loss. That's bad luck. Now, pick an engram and reveal your prize. That's a hunter helmet. It's a hunter helmet. I'm a warlock. You look up to find your pitiful winnings and notice Spider is barely paying attention to the engrams. Bad luck again, he mumbles. It's a real shame, Guardian. But I suppose we all have cold streaks from time to time. He straightens up in his chair. Give me a while to restock, he says. I'll let you know when I have no engrams to distribute. He fixes you with a condescending smile. I'm sure you'll win next time. Ido's voice comes in over the radio. More energy interference, she cries. That was the last piece of triangulation data I required. I believe I figured out a way to block these energy spikes, should another one occur. You seem to be the catalyst, she tells you. Thus, I will trigger my suppression field the next time the Spider asks you to pay him a social call. Perhaps we'll be able to figure out this puzzle together. So, it just confirms Spider's blocking the transmission of the engrams to be able to choose what outcome happens. That's why we keep getting crappy gear and crappy gear for other classes. Let's take a listen to the radio.
I kept this part quiet. I think half of those pirate lords didn't know what they had to begin with. They knew these things were powerful, but not why. Crack one open and you'd find a finger bone or a knot of old hair. Strong stuff. Smells awful. Ask me how I know. I've been holding on to them, but I figured you might want them.
Why?
I thought to myself, you know who might like something strange and unsettling? Eris Morn.
A gift, then?
Well, yeah, Moondust. You can call it a gift.
The sentiment is appreciated. But no. You know what you possess. These relics are not simple curiosities to be hoarded. They might serve a greater purpose.
And what's that?
Am I your conscience? Discover this for yourself. They are reliquaries, objects of great power. The darkness moves just beneath its skin. Do you feel it? It ruptures, flows, envelops.
Ooh, I like listening to you talk.
And I enjoy your silence.
I like to feel like certain characters have like set phrases or keywords. Like for example, Zavala's is Guardian. Kaido's is, we are Cabal. We eat the mountains. We drink the seas. And then Eris Morn's is, do you feel it? Like, so many different times she says it. But anyway, so it looks like that's all for this week's episode of Quest for Plunder. Thank you so much for joining me on this. I'll be sure and try and have this month's stream dates uploaded. I think the first one's probably going to end up being this weekend, so I'll try and have those dates posted this week. I'll have them posted on Twitter, link down to the description below. I'll also have it in the About Me section of my Twitch page, link to that as well. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. I'm loving this season. It's a very fun season, and I like that. It's not very story heavy at current moment. It's good background character and good building up for background characters like Misracks and Ido and Spider. But all in all, it's just a fun season, and I'm really having fun with that. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Come see me again next time, and hey, make sure you go the way the crow flies.